the good lighting. You're obviously a professional.
I try to be.
What can I do for you, Mike?
Well, Leo, for years I wanted to switch to the Mac, but I have thousands and thousands of dollars wrapped up in software applications on Windows.
Yeah.
And so with the switch to Intel, I was wondering if I was able to run my Windows applications on the Mac now.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, bummer.
Windows application. Well, you know, Apple, and actually, by the time this makes it to the air, it may have already happened. I suspect Apple's going to announce it at Macworld Expo on January 14th. So, in just a couple of days, I think, from the air date of this show. And I fully expect. Apple's already said they're going all Intel, but I think that they're going to have the first Intel boxes coming out early. A little earlier than they had planned. They said middle of next year, middle of 2006, and I think it's going to be actually early 2006. However, a Windows program requires more than just an Intel chip. You know, Apple uses the PowerPC chip from IBM and Motorola. The chip is just part of it. Well, a Windows program really requires Windows.
Right.
Otherwise, think about it. You'd be able to run Windows programs on Linux, too. Can't do it. So the operating system provides actually most of the support for the program. So the real question might be, will I be able to run Windows on my new Intel Mac?
Right.
Now, Apple has not said for sure yet, although they've given strong indications that they will. So I think it's very likely that you'll be able to install Windows on your new Macintosh and have a dual boot system. What I'd love to see, and I think Apple could do, but it might take some cooperation from Microsoft, is what we call seamless integration, where you've got your window or your Macintosh desktop running, you double-click a Windows application, and it opens up in a window in the Macintosh operating system. That's doable, by the way, totally doable. So you'll have, but and one way you could do that is with virtual PC for the Macintosh. When that comes out, now Microsoft makes that. When that comes out for Macintosh on Intel, and we don't know when that'll be, then that would be one way that you could have a Windows window inside an OS X screen. Until then, you'll probably have to dual boot, which means choose when you first start up a machine. Am I going to run Windows today, or am I going to run Macintosh today?
Yeah. So is the emulation software, does that run a lot slower? Or does everything?
Yeah, you mean if you bought Virtual PC right now for the Macintosh running on PowerPC? Yeah, in fact, Sean Carruthers in our lab did, or was it Sean or was Mike? It was Mikey. Yeah,
I've played with it as well, and it is very, very slow, especially if you have a slower Macintosh right at the moment.
You need a fast Mac to really to use it. It really is not your first choice. I mean, frankly, what I would say is buy a cheap PC. You can get a good cheap PC for under $500. Use that as your Windows emulator. And you already have a PC, so just keep it. In fact, that was the whole strategy of the Mac Mini. They said to people, look, just get a KVM switch, put the Mini on top of your tower, and you can use both. You know, that's of course to Apple's benefit, not yours. You're going to spend some money to do that. I think that it's going to be very good for everybody when Apple finally moves to Intel. You will be able to run Windows on Macintosh. I think switchers will be much reassured by that. You're right. You won't have to reinvest. The other thing is a lot of the software you've bought you may not need to buy again because Apple comes with a lot of software. The real key is going to be Microsoft Office, and that's going to cost you. What are the programs? If you use Photoshop, see, that's a real problem because if you use Photoshop on Windows, you have to buy a whole new copy, $700 copy of Photoshop for the Mac. It's not even an upgrade. It's a brand new copy. Those things I think are unfortunate. Yeah, but that's just the way it is.
I run stuff like Photoshop and Illustrator and Quark.
You'd have to buy a whole new thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Great.
Yeah, that's more than the computer.
Right.
You're talking at least 2,000 or 3,000 right there.
Yeah.
I wish I had better news for you in that regard. But the dual boot, you know, what'll end up happening is